Good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday. I want to give you a warm high five or a hug or something. Welcome to the Life Reset 5-Day Challenge. This is day number 4. Mama Mo, how are you feeling tonight?
I am excited about tonight. So we talked a little bit, we touched on it a little bit last night, but I'm really excited today because we're going to talk about creativity. And I think that it's super important for us at our age as we get older. Like there's a
What do
lot
you
of,
mean our age?
what do you mean our age? Our age. But there's a lot of us, like I know for me, last night sparked something in me after we started talking about it. And I started to realize all of the creative things that I did when I was younger. I used to paint, I used to draw, I played instruments, like I used to write poetry. I was such a creative person. Those were my creative outlets. And as I got older, became a mom, became a wife, a business owner, those sorts of things. I no longer do those things that I was so passionate about. Like that was my outlet. And so I think that today, when we talk about this, I hope that we can spark that little light within somebody to say, you know what was that thing that I used to do that I just used to love? Or what is something that I wish that I would have started? I've always wanted to paint. I've always wanted to take a foreign language or, whatever that may be for you. Like, I hope that today, when we talk about all of these things about creativity and how we express ourselves, that we spark somebody to make a change, to do something that they're passionate about.
I want to get the passion flowing again. And we can get the passion for life back. There's so many people that have lost that passion because we're always looking for practicality but letting in this creativity is the fullness of life. And it's really opened up for me since I've embarked on my entrepreneurial journey, because you really need that creative side. You need both, but really opening up the creative side. So are you willing tonight? Like, are you willing to, even if you can't quite get there, like, could you dance with the possibility of? And I even put together a video to help spark it, to help get the engines going. We have special guests. We have another special guest that just joined who's in the green room. Let me give speaking of creativity, we have Jessica Roman from the Yummy Coaching Factory. How about this? I want to do it. I want to do her justice. Coaching and cooking, bake, yummy, like think yummy, delicious, amazing. And she actually
delicious.
She baked the Rocky
Oreos.
The Rocky Oreos at the last event we had, and they were absolutely delicious. So anyway, Jessica, we're glad you're here tonight. Please feel free to chime in. Your work is very creative. You worked a corporate job. So let's see what we can spark up here tonight. And we need your participation. And we need you to share this with one person.
Yes.
Please, what you share, it expands. And let's say hello to Rich. Rich has been here every single night. And I know many of you, even if you weren't on here, you got the playback because we have the playbacks posted. Michelle, let's get the passion and the juices flowing again. And there's the yummycoachingfactory.com. So awesome. So let's get this going, Mama Mo. Before we get into this, what did you say to me earlier? What
about
creativity's lost, right?
Yes.
Do you feel that?
I feel that. Like I was sitting here and I was thinking too, when you said dance, like I've always wanted to dance. Like just because I'm in my 40s doesn't mean that I shouldn't, still want to be able to do these things. And why not? Why not?
Yeah.
What am I waiting for? You know what I mean?
What are we waiting for?
It's going to be the perfect opportunity for us to do these things. So why not? Why not take that time, unplug the TV, unplug whatever, in front of our phone and do something, put some music on and dance. Just
Yes.
fill our hearts out. You know what I mean? Grab some crayons or some colored pencils or whatever it is and just start doodling, or sit down and just write again and see what comes up.
And don't worry about what it looks like.
No, that's the best thing about
maybe
painting.
go analog. Go analog, get a journal, get a canvas, get some paints, watch Bob Ross. I don't know. I know we need to open up creativity in our lives. If a life reset's going to happen, it can't be in the confines of what we've already done. It has to break through a barrier, a wall, a way of thinking. So we really want to, I'm fired up tonight because this is an important part of the life reset. We need to get out of we have our obligations and
the hustle and bustle and the mundane of life that we get so caught up in. It becomes like this routine. It's the same thing. We get up at the same times. We do that. And we don't allow ourselves for ourselves. You know what I mean? Do it for yourself. You know what? And I think that we lose that childlike innocence as we get older. All of those things, like we think that we're too old, that we can't color anymore, or that we can't do all of these creative outlets, and we should.
Oh, you just reminded me. I have a great reading tonight. I'm going to have a reading from the 1800s. Ooh. So remind me. So somebody remind me. We're going to do that before we end. And we have a panel in the green room. I can look and see their eyes. They're excited. We got a couple orders of, we got the word of the day. I'm just getting a little notice. I'm getting something on the press line here. Okay. So yeah, we will have plenty of time. I just need to take care of a couple orders of business here. One, I want to let everybody know we are day 4. So we don't want to leave you hanging. We have an event coming up and I'm going to share it with you. Then we're going to share a video on creativity and then we're going to get to our panel guests. So here is a special event that's happening March 31st to April 3rd. And we'll share more as the night rolls on, but I want to at least get this to you now.
My name is Marilyn Morales. I'm here because I want to help people to heal. I want to heal. I want to be different. I want to be more productive. And I think anybody that comes here is going to find that same thing, their breakthrough.
We'll get more into that, but that is a life-changing experience.
Yes, it is. It doesn't matter how many times I see that video. It still invokes something so special within me. Those feelings of being there. It's an incredible experience. I can't say it enough.
We'll get into more of that later, but the QR code is in there. You can always go back, watch the playback. It's at austinhaynes.com live events. We'll share more as we go, but I want to get to our guests here and I want to get our guests warmed up too. So I put this little video together. I want to share this with you. And if you're in the chat, you might be eavesdropping on this. You might be like, what is this? Just begin to think about it. You might, the first thing, like, well, I don't know, I just keep allowing, this is an open space. So the key here is to be open and just allow something new to reveal itself. And it will, if you can just get out of that obsessive thinking just for a moment. So let's share this video and then we'll get to our guests. What creative endeavor did you put down many years ago, but when you did it, it sparked your soul? What creative endeavor have you not done yet, but when you think about it, it gets you excited? Maybe you want to pick up that paintbrush and begin to paint, even though you've never painted before, and maybe you think you wouldn't even be good at it. Maybe you want to begin to write again. Perhaps you did poetry when you were younger and you loved it, but you put it down. Maybe you thought I want to give drawing a go. Maybe you thought, I don't know what it is, but I know there's something creative I want to get into, whether it's sculpting, painting, whatever. Maybe you want to create your own creative endeavor or pick up a music instrument. Creativity is the juice of life, and it helps us live a more fulfilled life. What would it mean for you and your family and your loved ones for you to get into that creative side of yourself again? Could you perhaps include them? I hope the answer is yes. And I hope the answer is yes to your life reset. Let's get creative again. Welcome back. All right. So Mama, I'm excited to get our guests on here, and let's get the juices flowing here right now. So I'm going to bring Denise. It looks, you got a great hat on here. So I'm going to bring Denise back with us. Denise, welcome back again. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
We're going to bring on Duchess DJ Love is also with us. Hello, Duchess, also sponsor of our show, Power Pure Presence. And to everyone's surprise here, we have a very special guest. Mr. Aaron Hymas is in the green room. So let me bring him on. Give me the thumbs up, sir. Thumbs up. He's ready. Okay.
Flying
in. So Aaron is the owner, president of E360 TV. So everything we're doing here is made responsible because of Aaron. This is our distribution arm. We're pushing this out. Aaron can tell you. He can tell you all the things. And I'm just excited to be working with him, and all the support for allowing us to do this 5-day summit was because of Aaron. So Aaron, we're glad to have you as a partner.
Well, it's a pleasure, and great to meet all of you.
Yes.
So yes, appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on, Austin.
Yes. So hopefully we'll get, you'll have some things to share, and maybe you'll get your own creative juices flowing again. So the way we've been doing the show is we ask everybody to just do a quick intro, because we've been doing this every night, and we'll get a chance to revisit the other themes some point tonight, because we've been kind of revisiting for those that are just joining for the first time. But we want to get the audience just to know, if you are joining for the first time, who these folks are, these amazing heart-centered people that have gone through their own amazing life reset. And I would say, if I didn't deal with all the stuff and quit my corporate job of 19 years, I didn't push reset. If Mama Mo didn't go through all the trauma dealing with cancer and all the things she dealt with, if Denise didn't lose everything, and Aaron, I know you did your own reset from corporate America. And I know, Duchess, if you didn't have your experience, with wanting to spread the love and travel and the things that you've lived, we all wouldn't be here tonight if we weren't on purpose, if we didn't activate the creative side. So we don't have all the answers here tonight, but we want you to walk away. And I am going to grab your chats too. So if you are getting inspired and something bubbles up, throw it in the comments, and we want to highlight you. So we're going to go around and do the quick intro right now. Mama Mo, I'm going to let you take it over, and just let's let everybody meet these amazing people.
For those of you who don't know me, everybody knows me as Mama Mo. My real name is actually Monique. I'm an international motivational speaker, 2-time award-winning best-selling author, a lover of life, a lover of nature, a spiritual alchemist, herbalist, you name it. And it has to do with helping your body, mind, body, and spirit to heal. That is what I do. I really guide women through a somatic healing process so that they can learn that really deep down inside that they are capable of healing themselves in every way, shape, and form. That it's really the root core issues within ourselves that manifest in other ways. And once we get rid of all of the things that are hindering us, that's when we can move forward and turn our pain into our passions and our mess into our message. And so I'm so excited to be here today. Let's go around. I'll let you guys introduce everybody else here. Duchess DJ Love, how are you this evening? I'm so glad to see your beautiful face.
Well, thank you guys for the warm welcome. And for folks that do not know me, I'm Duchess DJ Love, and gallivanting like a royal is my platform to share love while I travel and explore the world. Traveling is my passion. And I'm the CEO, the producer, the host of Gallivanting Like a Royal show, which comes on.
Tonight.
And tonight, I have an episode
Tonight.
tonight on the Queen City, of course. Charlotte, North Carolina. If you guys don't know what the Queen City is, it's Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm all about traveling, but traveling is kind of the essence of the power of pure presence. That's how come my theme and Austin's platform, they kind of go together. And I want people, like I say, be creative. So I figured Gallivanting Like a Royal is a creative way to change people's mindsets, to let people know that you are a royal. You can have a royal life. You can live like I live. You just have to make a few tweaks, maybe a few sacrifices, and learn a little bit.
Yes, well, we're glad you're here. And I'm so thankful you're a sponsor of the show, Power of Pure Presence, every Sunday at 10 a.m. This Sunday, we're going to talk about what's missing. That's the topic. I got the divine download today. What's missing? We walk around like, what's missing? And we feel like this is missing, that's missing. So we're going to hit that on Sunday. But DJ, thank you for being a sponsor and being here tonight, a part of the summit. Mama Mo.
Yes. And then we have Denise. How are you this evening, Denise? I'm so glad you're back. Let me just take.
We love Denise. Like,
Yeah,
Denise, we're falling in love with you.
Like Austin earlier, how much I appreciated your insight yesterday, and you were such a delight and had so much to give. And so I'm really, really excited for you to share today, because I just want to hear what what you have to say.
You always share such amazing things. So
yes.
please.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, that setup is amazing. And you guys make it super easy to be on here. And oh my goodness, I have a call coming in. So let me see if I can get back to you guys.
Bring them on.
We can still see you.
It's my oldest, who is my business partner. And we were texting back and forth, and I'm like, I'm on another show, so you got to stop. Anyway, I just, you guys know I'm a business owner. I have 3 different companies, but my biggest love is being a mom and supporting and holding a vision for my 2 sons, 21 and 36, and they just rock my world. I love everything that I do, and the biggest thing that I enjoy is just helping people be their best. 1, with their health, 2, with their minds, and then 3, financially, because walking through losing everything, you really do get to a place to understand that, did you really lose everything or did you gain everything? And, that's what the biggest move was for me. And I'm so grateful to be on the creative side of this, because I always look at myself as I'm not creative. That's why I'm in the tie-dye sweatshirt and the hat and the glasses. I'm like, okay, I'm going to come on here and be completely silly and just enjoy this journey with you, because you all have made it extremely easy for me to step into this realm, which is a new one for me. So thank you.
Exciting. We're glad to have you. Believe me, I'm really excited to have you here. Mama, I'm going to jump in for a moment, only because I know Aaron has another commitment. So I want to kind of, squeeze everything I can out of him while he's here. So I'm just going to ask him to share, a little bit about himself. And Aaron, maybe something that the world doesn't know that you want them to know. So in your introduction, and then I'd love to get your thoughts on creativity. So we'll start with you. That'll give you enough time to share. And then I know you got to make an exit. So.
Well, I'm just looking around because I'm like, everyone else has accessories on, but I don't have any accessories. It's nothing available. But, well, thanks for having me. So Aaron Hymas, I'm the founder and president of E360 TV. I, do the techie and those kind of things and stuff like that. It is, I guess we're going to get to the creative part. And that area has become an outlet, for enabling creativity in ways that so you can connect more, especially through a 2-dimensional world like we're in so much. So, so this is what I do. I run E360 TV, and I go hiking every day with my dogs. I go to my point of contemplation, which is a rock that's in the middle on the side of the hill. Beautiful out today because we got snow all around the valley in Phoenix here. So
Wow.
it was good stuff there, and good place to ponder and think. But
yeah,
that's me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I love the fact that you just care about the distribution. I from day one, because I had another previous network that I worked with, and they controlled everything. Like you couldn't make a move. And Aaron is like, I just want to get your message to the world. Like, so he built the engine that enables us to get out there and be on. Aaron, you want to share the platforms, like where this goes?
Yeah. So we set it up with Austin and other hosts that are on there, and we do events, and we make it where when they're live streaming, they're going across all the major connected TV platforms like Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and then mobiles, iOS, Android, and then web, along with their social media. So it's really to cater to it's catering to creators to be able to, for them to get a bigger stage, and then also to the audience though, because then they can watch how they prefer. So if they're 65-inch TV kind of people sitting back on their couch, cool. If they, like so many like to watch on their phones, that's okay. But if they want to watch through social media or their laptop or whatever it may be, it gives them choices to be able to do that. And for us, we had to find out, well, what can we give a value? And what we did have is we had longevity at that point. That was a big thing. And for media, that's, being around for 7 years, that in this OTT world, that's what makes us like grandpas, in this space.
Yeah.
Besides the big Hulu and Disney and those guys. So what we could, offer is we could give value, is be able to provide that bigger stage and to get those bigger numbers, and that numbers mean everything. It's, you want to be in front of the right people, but at the same time, it's better positioning to be able to monetize and change lives, bottom line.
Right. And you want to let people, while we have a folks on here, because I think this is exciting for creators, right? If you're a creator and you're online, you want to just share what OTT means and what you think why it's an exciting platform and why it's exciting for, creative types.
Yeah. So OTT, it was derived from over the top. So initially, always they came in a little box that you would put over the top of your TV. So like a little Roku or, Amazon Fire box or whatever it may be. But it's basically internet protocol television. So we're not the traditional over-the-air cable type of transfer. We are strictly 100% digital, through content delivery networks. What is really cool about when this industry, it's still considered an emerging market.
Right.
Absolutely. Because it's still like people don't know, we figured out a niche. Yay. But there's a lot of others that have not, and a lot of that failed that are out there, which is what happens in an emerging market. Some will make it, some won't, but it's always learning lessons that you can pick up from others and such. And so, I forgot my train of thought there.
I was just talking about creators, we're talking about creators. We're going to get into the creative stuff. So definitely hang in there. Yeah. Share this with at least one person who is looking for that life reset. But I just think, I'm thinking about the creative type who wants to get on a platform and get out there. Why this is exciting.
Well, the thing is that it's so creating is one, and then distribution, which is usually an afterthought, is the next step. You always got to get distribution, because you got to go beyond where you're comfortable at, which most people are very comfortable in their social media. It's like their little home place. But you have to be able to put yourself out there, and then you have to do it in a way also that you can add visuals, like, adding these videos. And so you can add the visual context to it all, bringing in pictures, doing all these things to be able to really engage with that audience, because you want them to be able to visualize and understand what you're saying. Just as, there's different mediums, of course, out there. You can write a book, you can have an audio podcast, you can get physically on a stage, whatever it may be. But this is another medium that's because a lot of people like to watch video. That's just frankly the way it is.
So it's exciting. So I think this is a good time to let everybody know that my show, and you mentioned visual, I just did this, but there it is. The Austin J. Haynes Show is going to be launching on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, March 13th. So it's going to be every week at 7 o'clock, and we're going to have different themes, primarily life reset, purpose. It's going to be a great platform. We already have a slew of guests lined up, lots of exciting things. So that's going to be March 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will put stuff out there, but just in case you're paying attention, you like what we're doing, you like what Aaron's saying, definitely stay in touch for that. So Aaron, I know you got to go. Final thoughts before we say goodbye to you?
Use AI. Have you guys been dabbling with AI at all?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know everyone is freaking out about it, but what I have found is it's AI is not even close to taking over the world. Not even close. Okay. There's nothing to be afraid of. But I have found when working with the team on E360, we have just found it to be a great enabler to provide like some structure stuff around things that we're having difficulties with, whether it be text or whether it be art or whatever it may be. I think there's some really great tools that are out there, and technology is enabling that a little bit more. That again, once they have bowel movements and then they start, actually throwing things at us, then we got issues. But until then, they're great tools to help you out in your creative journeys.
Yeah.
They help out you. It's just when you're stuck and you can't think, that's I think a great way to. That's the latest thing when I've found the creativity that it has been a big helper.
Yeah.
If you use it right.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point.
I think Denise shared that. She said yes.
Oh
so
my gosh.
Yeah. So
Much fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can make it a friend, or you can make it an enemy, right? And if you make it a friend and you begin to play around with it, get to learn it a little bit, there's a big creative side to it that could present a big upside. And having said that, I think personally, while we're talking about it, I think it's really important to keep original content at the core of what we do, whether we're talking digital or analog. I think it's so important to really keep that core, because I think as much as AI is going to be a part of what we do, I think the web, especially when we move to Web 3, whenever that's going to happen, original content, the ability to create original content is going to be really, really important. So keep up the original, play with the AI. Aaron, so glad you were here tonight. Got to meet everybody.
I wish I could stay longer, to be honest. I love this subject matter of creativity. And I think the world is more and more enabling us to be more creative. Yes. The barriers have been lowered so much when it comes to media space and all these different areas, that it's just, people from around the world are able to connect, like our marketing guy who does all the different artwork and stuff like that. And I know Austin has that look. Get off, Aaron. Don't you have to leave?
No, I want you to stay.
Connect with people around the world, and that gives you a new perspective. You bring a new perspective into the things. This is why diversity is so important. It always gets gobbled up by the headlines of, oh, we have to do diversity. No, you're not getting it. So many people walk in different types of lives, and when you put them all into a creative environment and brainstorm and whiteboard all together and stuff, it's amazing what comes out. And then you realize that you're the dumbest person in the room, but that not in a bad way. You're like, oh, this is, I'm just going to sit back and write. This is just the funnest train I've been on in a while. So I think this world of creativity is just being enabled more by our more of connecting. Technology is running into that, emerging into that. You got the AI bit, but I think it's very hopeful of what is coming up in the future. Just keep experimenting, being okay to fail. If you haven't failed a bunch of times, then you ain't trying enough. I can tell you that, right? You got to keep trying.
But Aaron, if you get free later, jump back on. We should be on here for like another hour or plus or minus. So if you free up, jump back on.
And Aaron, I have a show starting at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, Gallivanting Like a Royal. You should hop on there because I get creative. I can say that.
Aaron, you're going to be a celebrity by the end of the night, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You got it. Glad you're here.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. So we are going to share, I'm going to share this video again. I want to really I want to provoke our audience here to put something in. So Michelle is saying, I love coloring.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. And then Rich is saying, I used to write anything that came to mind and then edit it later.
Ooh, I like
That's
that.
the way you're supposed to do it, Rich. How many of us, we begin to write and go, oh, that's not right. And we stop. And then we go and and we're constantly correcting ourselves. Let it out. Like that's the whole creative process, you know? Let it out. Let it out.
I think we become so analytical as we get older. Like we lose just being lost in that creative, mendable space that we have. You know, we got to be like, oh no, we got to stay within the lines, you know, like those sorts of things. And we lose that little bit of creativity. But I loved what Aaron was talking about, because it was like, we don't think about the AI and the tech aspect of it. And especially for someone like me who's not very tech savvy, but there's a whole nother world of digital art, of AI, of like so many things going into, virtual reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's so many new options out there, and to be able to use the internet to have connections to art, to see things that we were never able to witness before in a way we never were able to witness before. So I think there's a whole nother dynamic that we could dive into as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to share the Life Reset promo. We'll take it's like a minute break so everybody can breathe on here, get a glass of water, whatever, get some water in you. We'll share a couple videos here, and then we're going to come back on and we're going to get some tips on creativity. And I have this back here that has an incredible story behind it, that painting. And then I also promised you the reading. So we'll get to both of those things. So let's take a look at this is the little video we created for this whole week. So it has the whole week in here, and then we'll be right back.
A new road awaits you. What would your life reset look like? How would you go from feeling stuck, stagnating, lacking clarity? Maybe you feel like you simply plateaued and you know you need to make a change. What area most requires you to push that reset button? I want to invite you to journey with us over the next 5 days for the Life Reset 5-Day Challenge. Each day we're going to stream live at 7 p.m. and feature a new topic to help you cultivate that life reset. First, we're going to start with self-care on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to find out what's holding us back, what are the challenges, and dealing with uncertainty. Wednesday, day 3, is going to feature self-rediscovery. What does it mean to get to know yourself again? What's important to you? Day 4, we're going to help you cultivate creativity to get those creative juices flowing again. Day 5, and finally, we're going to help you cultivate a new decision and push that life reset button. Imagine what life could be if you simply take the plunge and join us for the Life Reset 5-Day Challenge. What creative endeavor did you put down many years ago, but when you did it, it sparked your soul? What creative endeavor have you not done yet, but when you think about it, it gets you excited? Maybe you want to pick up that paintbrush and begin to paint, even though you've never painted before, and maybe you think you wouldn't even be good at it. Maybe you want to begin to write again. Perhaps you did poetry when you were younger and you loved it, but you put it down. Maybe you thought, I want to give drawing a go. Maybe you thought, I don't know what it is, but I know there's something creative I want to get into, whether it's sculpting, painting, whatever. Maybe you want to create your own creative endeavor or pick up a music instrument. Creativity is the juice of life, and it helps us live a more fulfilled life. What would it mean for you and your family and your loved ones for you to get into that creative side of yourself again? Could you perhaps include them? I hope the answer is yes, and I hope the answer is yes to your life reset. Let's get creative again.
All right, we are back, and we're going to get into some tips on creativity. And I also have, I'm going to share one other thing here, because I have Carrie's in the green room, and I want to share a graphic here real quick. Let's see, here we go. So that's our very own Duchess DJ Love, who was just on us, who had to exit to get ready for her show. But let's get into the, Mama, are you ready to get into the creative tips, like to really get the juices flowing here?
Absolutely. I'm
So
excited about this.
So let's bring everybody back on. We have a new guest here. So I'm going to start with Denise. We have Anilda Davila is in the green room as well. So let's bring Anilda on. And then I have Carrie here. And I want to give a shout out to Carrie, because Carrie created that graphic that you just saw with Duchess DJ Love. So that's a lot of creativity there. So ladies, let's share. And if you're on here for the first time, just just share a little bit about yourself as well. So make sure you share a little bit about yourself if you're on here for the first time. So that would be Carrie and Anilda. I'm going to let Mama Mo take it from here.
Yeah, well, just right off the top here. Hi, Carrie. How are you tonight? It's nice to see your face.
Good to see you.
Yes. Tell us about you and all the amazing things that you do and your creative outlets.
Yeah, so I do graphic design and social media, social media strategy. So I do, but I've been doing a lot of graphics for Austin, which has been great. So I've had the honor of being able to do that. So it's been really great to be able to work with Austin and also learn some things as well. So, but yeah, I live in St. Louis, and I'm on my own reset as well. So this week is great for me. So, I really have wished I could have been here last night, but I wasn't able to. But I'm glad to be here tonight. And I love creativity. So this is right in my lane. So yeah.
Awesome. And we were just talking too about like digital art and
yeah, I heard. Yeah.
The tech and everything. So that's like fits perfectly in. So you get to because I'm not a tech person, those are areas in my life. So it's interesting to have different dynamics and different viewpoints. And I love the fact that we were just talking about the tech side of it. And now, that's what you're doing, the digital art. That's awesome. And then we have Anilda. Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Anilda, beautiful lady. You made it.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, you're right about that. I made it. Listen, I am juggling with this StreamYard for the last 10 minutes. I'm trying to figure out, I don't want to interrupt the show, but I want to let Austin know that I'm back here. I'm waiting in the back room for the wrong episode for the last 10 minutes.
Well, you made it. So we're glad you're here.
So anyway, but before I continue, I want to pick a bone with Mama Mo.
Uh-oh.
Hey, this is not that kind of show, so hold on. No,
Mama Mo opened a show talking about advancing age women. Well, creativity doesn't stop with age. I think I'm the oldest one in this group, and nothing gives me more pleasure than be able to have this juices flowing in my mind every day and create something for myself every day. So that doesn't stop with age, Mama Mo.
Oh.
no.
Well, tell us more about you and what you've been doing, your creative outlets. You just wrote a book.
Yes. Well, an amazing act of forgiveness, work a transformation in my life for me to able to put that stuff together and create something out of nowhere. Really, I think that most of my life is based on what is called what's the word? Synchronicity. That everything just happens out of nowhere. People say that I manifest things. It's just I don't know. I just been being guided by the Holy Spirit for as long as I
Living
remember.
on vibrant energy.
And yes, and I just posted something on my page today to people to understand what that means to me, because it means a lot of things for a lot of people. But living on vibrant energy is really connected to the source within you, to that force that is within you, that you know is there. Okay, but because of the way that we've been bombarded by this world, society, all this stuff going on around us, we're always focusing on that, on the external things, instead of just going in and find that the strength that within us. I always believe that I have an inner ability to heal myself, and I trusted myself with that, and I proved that. I proved evidence that the body has the power to heal itself. And all you have to do is understand, have a deep understanding of all the four dimensions of wellness. If you really understand how the body, the mind, the spirit, and the emotional part of you and the mental part of you work, if you really knowledgeable about those areas of your life, believe me, we're a very complex machine. We have a very complex mind, a very complex body. When I in the morning when I wake up and I look in the mirror, believe me, you don't want to see me because I don't look this great.
But the face has to wake up. I get it. The older you get, the longer the face has to wake up.
So I know that when Boston was saying that I went to the Rocky Steps and showed him what I do, is because in the morning, there are times, and that's what the title of my book is, Living on My Energy, because I didn't feel like that. There was a period in my life that I went through this dark period of my life that it was such a task just to walk to the window and look at the outside world. And I would not wish what I went through to anybody.
So, Nilda,
yes.
I just want to let everybody know that you're the one that. Are you okay with sharing your age?
Yes, I'm 70.
So Anilda is 70, and Anilda joined me on the Rocky Steps, and she laid down on the Rocky Steps to show her little exercise regimen she does every morning.
Yes, because Jose Escobar from CLA, he talks about the morning routine, and it's so essential to have the morning routine. Okay, not because you're gonna work out, whatever. It's just a matter of stopping whatever's gonna happen, because it's a momentum. As soon as you wake up, that stuff start coming to your mind, right? And if there's negative energy, that's gonna span. That's what energy spans in the direction going up or going down. But it's going to span. So if you start with negative thoughts in the morning, I'm feeling achy and this is bothering me or whatever, then that's the direction your body, the energy is going to go for the rest of the day. But if you say, I know this is going to happen, because that's the way I felt. I felt most of the time that I didn't want to get out of the bed. So I had to create what Austin was talking about, something that I could put in place right away as soon as I wake up to really feel the energy to get out of that bed.
So just for time's sake, I want to stick to the topic. I'm really glad you had a chance to share that. And I want to, maybe we'll dig that video up of Anilda on the steps. I'm
going to be sharing that.
But for now, just share something that would help somebody, a listener who is not creative. Maybe they turned off their creative juices and maybe they lost that juice of life. What creative tip would you tell them, Anilda?
Of all the dimensional of wellness, spirituality for me is the most important one.
Which one?
Spirituality. is the most important.
Spirituality. So you
Because
connect
the word,
spirituality
the
to
word
creativity.
creative. I'm sorry.
You connect spirituality to creativity.
Yes, I think that the
Okay.
word creative comes from the creator, create something, and the creator, the one that created us,
Yes.
has bestowed us, okay, the gifts and talents. You know, my brother is an engineer, and he never went to engineer school, and he was hired as an engineer. There are people that are musicians, and they never went
Yeah,
to music
you're right.
school. So you got to look at the gifts and the talents that you inherit by birth. Okay, and you have to be appreciative
Beautiful.
of that, and you have to develop those things. The school is just a way for you to educate and whatever is serve you. I had no idea how it served. I worked for the school district for 35 years, and to be honest with you,
Yeah.
just
So you were in the school district for 35 years.
indoctrinizing people. You have to live within your own way of thinking. You have to use your mind to create your
Discover it.
life. You cannot follow the standards of society or the way society thinks about things. You have to be your own creator of your reality. You have to be creator of your life. And God has bested us with those gifts in order to accumulate. And all the experiences that we go through life, all adversities, whether negative or positives, are part of accumulative thing that is happening in our life for us to build something with that, to build our character, the things that we need to learn in the process of building our character to be what the purpose that we could be serving in this world. Because when people say that there's a lot of when they go to the cemetery, there's a lot of people dead. A lot of dreams are dead there. But what I say is that when you go to heaven, there might be a library there of books that you never opened that were there for you.
Wow.
We were just talking about that last night, about how the same thing, someone else, I can't remember who it was that mentioned it last night, about all of the dreams, the aspirations, the creativity
Yep.
that dies along with you. And because we never took the time to pour, into those gifts, as you were saying, you have to be your own creator in your life. And I think that that is so important, because really at the end of the day, that demands action. And instead of just thinking about it, like, we have to take that initiative and to do something, to be creative, to allow those creative juices to flow, to allow those gifts. And I think that we shove it down. Like you said, we have to have a purpose. The first thing we wake up in the morning, our mindset is so important, and
So
to be
is.
able to give ourselves that time to be creative, to live in that. It's such a
Yes.
beautiful thing to be able
Yeah.
to live in that energy, in that space.
It's a joy. When you create something, you feel this joy.
Yes.
Right?
As a matter of fact, I want to jump in because I want to ask our audience, when was the last time you felt creative?
Yes.
I think this is a good question because it'll get you thinking. When was and it might have been this, but I'm saying when you really felt the juices flowing, you felt like you had a focused block of time where you were creative. Do you remember that? Let's see if we can get the audience here in the chat to share something there. And I said I have a surprise for everybody. So I'm going to give the word of the day. I'm going to step away to get something. I'm going to ask Mama Mo to continue the conversation with Denise and Kerry to keep the creative juices flowing here. Maybe we can come up with some creative ideas. Like maybe we can do something where, like, what's the most creative piece of art you've seen lately? Because I've seen some really, like I mentioned yesterday about the young kid who's autistic, who takes they're like toy cars, they're like so big, and he creates the platform. He puts the shrub, like almost like a train set, except he puts it against a natural backdrop. There could be a house. He puts it, and it looks real. It's amazing. I'm like, wow. And I see some of these, I'm like, how do these people think of it? Well, they got creative. So, Mama Mo, let me share the word of the day.
Austin, one of the things that impressed me the most is when I see people that use what we give no value, like trash, like things that we throw in the trash, that we put in the trash, and they create things with it, they make art pieces with it.
Yeah.
To me, that's I'm an environmental steward. So to me, it's like that's the
It's
most
amazing.
precious art, when you
It's
create
amazing.
something out of trash.
It's amazing.
Yes.
All right, let me share the word of the day. If you don't know what this is, every day we've shared a word. And if you have all 5 words and you book a 5-minute call with us, you will get a free virtual VIP ticket to the Flashpoint Live event. How about that? And we'll share that video again. So the word of the day is imagination.
Mm.
Whoa.
It makes sense, right? I'm trying to keep everything in imagination. Intellect or logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. Famous quote by Albert Einstein. So, Mama Mo, I'm going to turn it back over to you. I have
No more.
two more things to share when we get back. I'm going to share about this thing here behind me.
That incredible painting that you have behind there.
Yeah, and I got a great reading for everybody that I know is going to inspire everybody. So let us know how you're doing in the chat. Please check in with us. If you're the fly on the wall, you can stay the fly on the wall. If you want to get engaged, maybe type in the last time you were creative. I think Jason said today. And what did you do to be creative? When was the last time? And then what would you do? Mama Mo, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'll be right back. So you can conversation going.
Let's see. When was the last time? I live in a creative space. Like I there's so many things that I don't do anymore. Like I was talking about, like my music, and I don't write poetry anymore. But there's other ways that I express myself creatively. And like I love to cook. Not only that, but I specialize in formulation. So I love to create products. I love to create branding. I love, I have that creative outlet for me. And so I would love to know two things. So I'm going to go around and I want to know two things. One thing that you do currently that is a creative outlet, and then something that you wish that you would either need to start back up again, or something that you've never done that you want to do. And so, Carrie, let's start with you. What is one thing that you currently do that is creative? Maybe we can that you're gifted at, and then something that you want to do or that you should try again, or whatever that may be. What does that look like for you?
So I think besides the obvious of just doing graphics, I think for me, I am working on my book. So that is my creative, probably my thing that I'm doing right now. That and music, those are my two, besides doing graphics, those are my two things. And then, what was the other thing that you said to say?
It's something that you have let go of that you wish that you could start again, or something that you've never tried before that you've always wanted to do as a creative outlet. Like for me, it'd be I always wanted to take dancing classes and learn how to swing dance. And I'm not, listen, I'm not the greatest dancer, okay, but I'm willing to try it. So
I think something that I'm willing to try, or that I think maybe just, I don't know. I'm super creative. So my brain is very creative, but I think just being more in tune with nature and just being just kind of letting stuff kind of be more relaxed and all that stuff. Yeah. So the energy. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, and here's a suggestion for me as somebody who is super connected to nature, buy some plants. Like I was talking about yesterday, one of the weirdo things that I do is I talk to my plants. I just believe in the energy so my house is covered in plants, and I talk to them, and that is a creative, outlet for me, is to be able to stick my hands in the dirt and to be able to connect with nature on that level. I know that Adele is like that as well down there. She's always connecting with nature. She's my fellow person down there.
Well, let me tell you, the best advice I could give you, Carrie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that in the morning, maybe after you exercise or whatever, you want to get really connected with nature, just go outside, take off your shoes, and just sit there touching that grass.
Oh yeah.
And just let it go. and all the ions from Mother Nature will come to you and start charging your pineal gland, and it's amazing, the feeling. And if you become, it becomes a routine. You should have everything that we do. That's, I'm saying, because my healing journey, I'm sharing part of what's in the book, is that I integrated, like, if I like brushing your teeth, like, for example, in the morning, the exercise that I was talking about. As soon as I finish whatever I'm doing in the bed, the exercise that I do in front of the bed, next to the bed, whatever, I walk backwards to the bathroom to work my both hemisphere of the brain, and then I brush with my left hand.
Oh,
And when I'm brushing, I'm doing my squats, but I create something to make it all fun. You know what I mean? So it doesn't become like a task. Because to be workout is negative in itself.
no.
This workout, I mean, you have to work. No, I don't like to work. I want to have fun. So to me, that's what I integrate all those creative juices into what I need to do with my life. But at the same time, it turns out to be fun. It doesn't look like it's work. But connecting with nature, that's the best way to do it. Just get barefooted once in a while and do that regularly in your life. And just, some people hug trees. There's a lot of things to it. Yeah, to connect with nature. I love it.
But
Is
what
that-
about you, Anilda? What are you doing? What are something?
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. Somebody invited me to a Christmas party just recently, because I just moved to Delaware. For those who don't know me, I was living in Philadelphia. My son decided to move to Lewis, Delaware, so I decided to follow, grandchildren, and I decided to move here recently. And I figure, I don't know anybody. A neighbor invited me to their party at Christmas time, and it happens that they were having karaoke. So guess what? I joined in. And guess what? I discovered that my voice is not so bad after all. So I might pursue that singing.
There you go. Hey, listen.
But I love
Go
dancing.
for it.
I love dancing. I'm not too much into painting and stuff like that, but I love making things with my hands, and like I said, like things that had nobody, like metals and plastic and stuff like that. Just create something. To me, that's amazing. But one of the things that I did for being creative in terms of getting serious about the book. I wrote the book, Imagine Living on Vibrant Energy. And I figured that since I don't know anybody here, well, I'm going to create these connections, people connections. I call it Love Energy Connection, because that's the name of the book. And to share my story with them, and at the same time, get other people to be courageous enough to share their story, to be in the same space with me, to be able to do that. And I found somebody who's going to be in the next Courageous Heart for March the 12th. That's going to be my second conversation. So let's see what happens. I called out 100 Delawareans to follow me in this initiative.
Nice.
I want to collect 7 people to have the courage enough to follow this initiative, to see how what kind of content I could create and work with that. Because I know Austin been like banging on me for the last, how many years, Austin?
Well, maybe not banging on you, but definitely being consistent.
Like, he called it aging or something. I don't know what word he used, but I said banging on me because he's like, okay, Austin, stop it.
Well, that's the point. That's the point.
But
And
somebody asked me, Anilda, when are you going to stop working? You're always doing something. And I said, as long as I have a breath, that's all we're here to do. We're here to be creative, and every day we create something new with our lives.
yeah. So let's keep going. We definitely want to hear from Denise, right?
Yep.
Hi guys, I'm just like,
Denise
all
is
right.
on.
I talk to my plants. I'm listening to you guys. I brush my teeth with my right hand because I'm left-handed. I want to use both sides of the brain. I talk to friends all the time. They're like, I'm so stuck. I'm like, just start by brushing your teeth with the opposite hand. It will move mountains because it will take you from one side of the brain to the other. So everything I've already heard on here tonight, I love it. I'm doing it. I feel it. Dance is my big, I love to dance. And I don't know about you guys, but it's really hard to find. And this is a story I made up in my mind. It's really hard to find places to go and dance and just be free and open to, all right, you're 70, I'm 60. It's like, I just let loose. So I probably look crazy. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But so dance is mine. And I don't do it enough other than in my home, in the privacy of my house. And I would say my greatest thing that I love doing with creative energy is I hold visions for people. So I'll see somebody where they're at, and they'll be telling me their story. And then I go into my closet and I write a story out for them that I see for them that's different than what they've told me. And then all of a sudden, you know, whether it's
Wow.
later or a
That's
year
cool.
later, I did it for my oldest son when he was going through a really hard time. You know, I had all the negative thoughts like, wow, is he ever going to have a breakthrough? What's going on? Like, and then finally, like, God just led me to go, look, I held a vision for you. Now you need to hold a vision for him. And today he is so everything and more than I could have ever made up in the vision. But now I just do it with friends and people that will come to me. And I love listening to people's stories. It just, I always know that there's more that they can have, that they can be, but they don't know it. And for me to tell them what they can have and be, it's not going to work. So I go back and I just write this story for them. And then that's what I hold in my thought for them. And the coolest piece is for them to reach out to me a month later, 2 months later, and they're like, I just want you to know, like, this is happening in my life. And I'm like, oh, yes. That is, for me, that's what I think is my best creative niche, because it's something that fills my soul. And then God turns around, he brings it back to me to go.
That is so amazing.
That is beautiful.
I love that, Denise. That is absolute. I say absolutely a lot, but it is. It's so beautiful that you do that.
It's so funny because people are like, wait, that's what you like to do? And I'm like, it is what I like to do.
I love
Because
that.
everybody has something in them. They just
Very
don't know
creative.
it. They just don't know it. So
Exactly.
I'm going to share a story before we run out of time here, because this story is an amazing story. And I'm going to see if I can get a little fancy here for everybody. But this painting behind me, let's see if I can do this. There's a painting behind me here on the wall. And here we go. There we go. Can everybody see that?
Kind of.
right.
All right, let me remove everybody here for a moment.
It's a woman and a man, I think.
Okay. Let me get back to me. So that's Vincent van Gogh's Night Cafe.
Wow.
Okay. And the reason why I have that is because I met a friend through a real close friend of mine. I was looking to meet an older person who had a life well lived, and I wanted to bring them on the platform and talk with them. And sure enough, my good friend Lori introduced me to John. And John was 96 at the time. 96. I got a chance to meet him. I interviewed him. The interview's up on the YouTube channel. He said, I'm a painter. He painted. And he showed some of his paintings. And he was working on this painting behind me. Where am I at here? There we go. Yeah, he was working on that painting. And I had no idea like what he was going to do with it. And I think was he 96 or 96? He was 96 at the time. And then here's what happened. Can y'all see that?
Uh-huh.
He said to me after, he's like, I didn't smile in the picture, did I? I said, that's okay, John. But that painting was done when he was 96. He finished it. Now, here's the sideline story. I went to an Airbnb in Florida. I was in St. Petersburg. And some strange coincidence, I'm staying at this woman's house. She's an elderly woman. She rents out her place as an Airbnb. And it turns out she's an art professor and she's also an artist. Incredible story. I won't get into her story because she has an amazing story. I showed her the painting and she said, wow. She's like, that is technically spot on. Like when she looked at John's painting. And I said, he was 96. He's 96, painted that. So you never, and John keeps his mind busy. He exercises every morning. And he had a life change recently, but he's still doing fantastic. And I have another photo of him. Yeah, let me see. I think I have another photo of him. So I always brag about him when I get a chance to, because he's just such an amazing guy. And he wanted a copy of my book.
Nice.
So I gave him a copy of the book. He's reading it. And he came to the Flashpoint event.
He looks happier.
I have him. He's actually in the documentary. He's in the first documentary. And, we did this little excerpt. And I thought he was going to come and he was going to leave because I didn't expect him to stay. But he stayed. He stayed at the event. And we did this exercise. And he said, in front of everybody, he said, I've never done anything like this before. And I don't know if I'm doing it right. He said, but I just want to learn. And everybody was just so moved by this man who's 96 in the circle. And he was like, I just want to learn. Mm-hmm. It was so moving. And it really, just really sparked a lot of emotions in everybody to this day. We think about it. And he's going to be 98 in July. 98. And his goal is to be the oldest World War II veteran. And he still paints. And I just wanted to share John's story because it's so inspirational that we can get caught on a number. We can think it's over. It's not. It's your ability to pick up a pen right now, to pick up the closest journal or piece of paper you have and write something. Like it just starts there. And I said that last night. And I'm excited. I'm amazed that I had the opportunity to meet him and to have that experience is such a blessing.
Learning is anti-aging. That's the antidote for aging. Learning.
Yeah.
And, we have to differentiate between biological, ecological, and a spiritual age because the soul has no age.
I think it just goes to show too that it's never too late. You can always start over, start something new, find something else that you're passionate about. It doesn't matter your age, your lifestyle, whatever it is. At any moment, you can decide to do something different or to try something new. And I think that it's so inspiring to have someone at almost 98 years old that is still painting, that is still passionate about life. Because I think that we forget that, that spark within us, that passion for life. And that is where creativity comes from, is that passion within us. I think we get lost in the mundane of everyday life and the cycles of things. And we forget that there's passion still left in this world, whatever that looks like for each one of us. Like for me, like I love to be in nature. I love to create. My love language is food. That in itself is being creative. For me to go into my cupboards and it's like this download. I open every cupboard, I open the refrigerator, and I go through these different formulas within my brain on what I can create out of love for my family. And nothing has ever tasted the same. Nothing's ever done the same, everything. And that's one of my creative outlets. The soul has no age. I like that, Anilda. That is so true. The soul has no age. I know for me, I don't feel you know what I mean? You think that you're going to reach this age and you feel a certain way, or you feel older, or you feel like you're mature. But really, at the end of the day, we're just a bunch of kids mentally running around in aging bodies. Yes. And I think that we forget that, and that we need to do these things. I'm excited. Like, I want to get off of here. I have a whole box. I remember with my daughter when she started to get into painting, I just remembered like I have a whole box of like canvas and paints, like in my basement, in a closet, in the back somewhere that I need to pull out and just start painting again.
Start
Because
painting
I
again.
know it was painting, you know? I think that it's great.
I still like going to the playground and swing and I swing.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to bring up another just quick story is if you follow Jim Carrey at all, you know, some people think he lost his mind, the comedian, but he went through a major life reset and he was painting these huge canvases. That's why we're talking about creativity tonight. It makes sense. It's a part of it. It's connecting parts of the brain that you forgot or creating new connections in the brain, like brushing your teeth with the other hand is a way to start, just to get the juices flowing again. Yeah. So the conversation's been great. We're 11 minutes past the hour. I'm going to show the video again. I just want to give you all a breather, get some water. It's only going to be like a short minute. And then why don't we do this? Why don't we come back and we'll get, if there's any other thoughts on creativity, I want to grab them for everybody. And we can also talk about anything from earlier in the week. And then tomorrow is going to be new decision. We're going to be rounding out the life reset tomorrow with new decision. And it's really amazing. Like when I first came up with this idea, I didn't know what the themes were going to be. And I think we had a meeting. I think Mama Mo, you were on that meeting. I think Dana might've been on that meeting. We had folks on the meeting and we're like, what should the topics be? And all of a sudden it just came out. And now that we're looking back at it and we're looking at these things, it makes so much sense the way they were connected. Like doing self-care was number one. We talked about self-care on Monday. Tuesday, we talked about uncertainty, the challenges, the inhibitions of making a said change in our lives when we've been living a certain way. And then we went into Wednesday and we talked about
self-discovery.
Oh my
Self-rediscovery.
Yes, self-rediscovery.
Oh, I missed it yesterday.
Wait a minute, it completely left me.
I missed it.
I know. Well, that's why I was evoking, because I was, my brain was looking for it. Self-rediscovery was yesterday. And that was the ability to, some people have lost themselves and they're getting to know themselves again. That's real. And then today we're talking about creativity. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about new decision, because ultimately it's a new decision. It is a new decision. And it's not this ginormous decision next week. It's a micro decision right now. That's you in all life change that I've studied. There's a decision, and it's usually a micro. It could be a micro or decision in the micro moment. It's now, and that may happen for you tomorrow. It may not, and it's your journey though. Like that's what you need to understand. So even if you're dancing with creativity or dancing with the possibilities, and you're like, I don't have the answer right now, but you know what? I'm just going to enjoy not having the answer right now. Like that's a big distinction for some people, because the stress created in not having the answer is going to prevent you from getting the answer. But if you can be joyful in not knowing the answer, you are opening up the door to creativity. Yeah. And so we're going to be talking about new decision. All right. Yeah, I'm going to do the reading. I got it here for the end. I have a special reading for the end of this. I think everyone's going to love it. It's going to be a great way to round it out. And I know you all are going to probably want to share something after I read it. So let's grab these videos. I love sharing these videos with folks. And we want you to come to Flashpoint, either virtually or in person. I'm excited about it. We have a couple sponsorship spots left. We have the Rocky sponsor left. But let's take a look at that video if you're just joining here.
My name is Marilyn Morales. I'm here because I want to help people to heal. I want to heal. I want to be different. I want to be more productive. And I think anybody that comes here is going to find that same thing, their breakthrough.
Welcome back. Maybe take a breath. Even if you're in the audience, you had a busy day, you're just tuning in. Taking a breath is always a good thing. Just a pause. And if you're rolling your shoulders is a great thing to do because we typically slouch. So we roll our shoulders nice and because that's another thing. I think about this often. Like when we live a certain way, our body tends to move the same way every day. So can we begin to introduce new movements, fires up different thoughts, different emotions, just the sheer, creating different movements, your emotions can't stay the same. Even just like moving the hands above the head, raising the jaw, lifting your head up, it creates these micro changes, and you start to condition these micro changes, and that leads to macro change over time. But I talk about this on the Power of Pure Presence. If everything's in the future, then you're just going to you've hypnotized yourself through your story and through same old, and not getting into new circles. That's why I applaud Denise. She admittedly said she's an introvert, but she's here in front of everybody. So, and that may not be your step, but doing something different is a great gateway. Feel confused, feel awkward, feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And you start to open up new channels in the brain, and creativity can open up. Great. So, all right, let me read this, and then we'll see what this evokes as we round out, and then we'll close out with final thoughts, set up tomorrow. So this is a book that I picked up, and it's by Walt Whitman. It's called Specimen of Days. And this book kind of found me, I believe. I resonate with this really, and I'm so glad that I found this book because it's helping me as a writer, as I mature as a writer. And anyway, it's Walt Whitman's personal journal. It's these journal excerpts that he curated over a long period of time. And if you don't know anything about Walt Whitman, he's from the Philadelphia area, Camden, and he wrote a book called Leaves of Grass. He wrote one book in his career, but he kept rewriting it. He did all these versions of it. And I just wanted to share this. I literally picked up this book, and I haven't read the whole book because it's just too big, but I grabbed different things out of it. And this reading found me today, and I was like, I got to share this tonight. So I'll read it to you, and we'll see where it goes. Okay, so this is May 31st, 1882. That's when this was written. And it says, at present writing, personal, a letter to a German friend. So it's pulled from a letter. From today, I enter upon my 64th year. The paralysis that first affected me nearly 10 years ago has since remained, with varying course. Seems to have settled quietly down and will probably continue. I easily tire, am very clumsy, and cannot walk far. But my spirits are first rate. I go around in public almost every day. Now and then I take long trips by railroad or boat, hundreds of miles, live largely in the open air, am sunburned and stout, weighing at 190 pounds. I keep up my activity and interest in life, people, progress, and questions of the day. About 2/3 of the time, I'm quite comfortable. What mentality I ever had remains entirely unaffected, though physically I am half paralytic and likely to be so long as I live. But the principal objective of my life seems to have been accomplished. I have the most devoted and ardent friends and affectionate relatives, and of enemies, I really make no account.
Mm.
So I got goosebumps. We need to get, and by the way, we need to get a goosebump noise for when I launch the show. We'll have people type in goosebumps, and we're going to put a noise. Maybe Denise can be the sponsor of that.
I love it.
So what do you think about that?
I think it just goes to show, like, he's speaking from mindset, like I was talking about before, like how, his body is failing him, but his mind is not. And he chooses to be in that creative state, in that mindset, to appreciate the things in life. And I think that it just goes to show, like, where we are in our life and making those decisions on how today is going to be.
I love that, Mama.
Yeah. It reminded me of I turned 60 in August, and instead of thinking about being 60, I always journal. I journal to my children every day, and they're older, but it's just for something to leave to them. So I write to them every day, and in 4 days, it'll be my 7th month in my 60th year. And it's been a really interesting shift, because I always tell them I'm going to be around till I'm 103. So you're going to have a lot of time with me. But I started writing the journal from that place, and to listen to him, some days when I'm writing to them, I'll be like, today's a harder day for Mom, but I want you to know that every day is a gift, and just be your best self. Love someone up today, because they need it more than you do. And I always share something different in my writing. I don't know when they'll read it, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's more for me right now, it's that creative piece that I get to give, and I'm giving it to myself. You know what I mean? Like right now I get to give it to myself, but I love being 6 months and 26 days into my 60th year of life. And it feels amazing looking at it that way. So brings back the kid.
60 years young.
It is years young, man. It's so
Yeah.
Wow. It's
So that was a beautiful poem. I love that you shared that, Austin. I mean, words of wisdom from people that have just been through so many things.
And I think too, like, it just goes to show that things don't change over time. That was written in what was it?
1862.
1862.
Well, there
We
is
are.
one thing that changed, and I'll mention that in a moment. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
The experience, right? The
Human experience.
Yeah, and I think, like, the more I do this work, I go to power pure presence. I can't, like, that's the door that unlocks it all. It's like when you find it, you're never the same again. You are forever changed, because then it's so simple. It's getting through our own psyche is the complexity of it.
Amen.
It is simple. And if we can return to the simplicity of life, the natural essence of things, and we've all done that in some way here. And there's a certain book that says to be in the world, but not of the world. And think about when that was written. So that hasn't changed. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just our perception that we're so far advanced. But
it's funny, because I think that during the pandemic, I think that one of the things that I tell people about, the first step for healing is acceptance. That's the first step.
Mm-hmm.
Accept that the situation has changed. Things are not going to be the same. Don't expect things to go back to normal. And that was one of my frustrations, because I know that I had to rely more on technology than anything else in order to continue the journey that I wanted to do. But it gave people an opportunity to be creative. So we're talking about creativity. Pandemic gave people to find out within themselves.
Good point.
Yes.
Really good.
a lot of people came up with the different ideas, entrepreneurial ideas.
Yes, that's so
Everybody
true.
became an entrepreneur overnight. Yes. And I feel that we have to sift. We have to sift and adjust.
Oh, cool. So we got my friend Jazzy Ralph on here, who's an incredible musician. I'm glad he joined. He does a lot of live streams with music. He plays the guitar, the piano. He's incredible. He's looking at your piano in the background. We'll have to break the news.
The screen.
The screen.
The power of the green screen. But
Yes. No, but I mean, I listen, I love musical instruments. I love music. So to be able to have that gift that's incredible. I played the piano a little bit. I'm not a master piano player, but I do play it a little bit. And like I said yesterday, I pick it up every once in a while, like when I'm going through an airport or at a wedding or someplace else. I'll sit down and it brings back all of those feelings. That's awesome.
I only do
why don't we do this, because we have a little bit of time here. I would love to get a round from you, the most interesting art, because an example of people thinking outside of the box, like following their true creative, like maybe an interesting way that somebody paints, or now that like you see the folks, they do like the like they'll do the what's it called, like the charcoal, that they'll do it's incredible, like the amount of grayscale and the depth and the faces and all the interesting ways. I'd love to hear what you've seen or heard that was really interesting, for you.
I'm about to throw a monkey wrench in this entire conversation. And only because of no, I was just going to say that one of the most beautiful things that I've been able to be creative with is with my hair. And so I'm getting ready to put my colorful dreads back in my hair. I had a pink mohawk, and I think that.
All right, this is for women only. I'm going to leave.
No, men do it too. But I'm just saying, like for me to be able to see someone be able to outwardly express their creativeness in a way, whether it's with their body or tattoos or hair or, clothes that they wear, when people express themselves outwardly, for me, as somebody who hid in the background for many, many years of my life, coming out, that little shift and change for me was being able to express myself outwardly. That is the creative, the color in my hair, the tattoos that I have. Not fair, my hair is gone. But just however that may be, like, I love to see people be fearless in their outward expression. So
living art, like creative art, right? You see those people that act like, I saw the one with the guy on the staircase. I think Anilda shared it too. The guy who it's so like poetic. The guy, he's walking up. It's a trampoline, and then there's a staircase next to this like trampoline. And the guy, he goes through this whole sequence where he's up the steps and he falls under the trampoline. He bounces up on the, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Oh, yes. Amazing.
Yeah. That was a really interesting, like living art, or, people that do express they put ink and art on their bodies and different things. There's all these different ways to express. So what was interesting that you've seen, like that really inspired you? Like somebody was doing something that was artistic, that inspired you.
My brother gave each one of us a sketch of my mother made in charcoal, like you say, charcoal paint. Just like her. It was amazing. It was amazing to receive that from him, something that he has done himself. And now he can no longer perform because he had brain surgery, so he can no longer be an artist. He can no longer perform what he was good at, unfortunately. But I treasure that a lot because of that.
Wow.
But anyway, I wanted to share something, Austin, before I give a chance to somebody else to talk. Something from Brené Brown that may serve the audience tonight about creativity.
Sure.
He says, we must care and nurture the stories we tell ourselves about our creativity and our abilities. Just because we didn't rise up to the same standards of achievements doesn't mean that we don't possess gifts and talents that only we can bring to the world. Just because some fail to get the value in what we can create or achieve doesn't change its worth of ours.
Yeah.
And I published my book, Imagine Living on Vibrant Energy. And a lot of people tell me, well, how many books you have sold? We don't create the book to sell books. We create the book because of the message it brings to the world, because how it's going to serve the humanity, because to tell everybody through our messages that each one of us had that unique gift to offer to the world, to be a service to this world. And that's what we're trying to do. And I'm very grateful that you have created this platform, Austin. And I'm very grateful that you have created the event Flashpoint, because people think about the money that they spend on going to the event, but they don't know what they're going to get in return. And people need to think about investing in themselves, understanding the value of money. At the beginning, you asked me that question at the steps, and I said, okay, what do you value more, money or people? And we have to know that people is more valuable than money, but we have to invest the money that we have in ourselves.
And I think a lot of times I've noticed, even in myself, we hesitate to invest in ourselves. We want to invest in other people, but do we invest in ourselves? And I think anyone who invests in the event, the live event,
life-changing.
It's going to be your journey. We do a create a space for you. Think of like life is constricting, and although we have to, we follow a structure most of the time, not all the time.
We try to,
but we do. I work passionately to create a space where the change can happen. Right? It's where somebody can have that moment where something shifts, and it never comes the way we think it's going to come. But if we can just show up, what's the great, I think it was Harvey Mackay, he said, show up, you're 80% of everyone else, show up on time, you're 90% of everyone else, show up on time with a plan, and you're like 7% ahead of the world. But the point is, even just getting ourselves to show up is a big deal. Like, it's a big deal to show up on here. So if you showed up on here, I congratulate you, because your mind is going in all different ways, and you got to do this, and you got to get ready for bed. You got to go to work. You got to do a facial. You got to brush your teeth.
Got to color your hair.
What?
I said you got to color your hair.
You got to color your hair. I don't know what it is you're going to do, but let us know if this helped you tonight. We're going to bring this to a close. I want to set up tomorrow night. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's see. I'm going to share that video again I created if you joined late. It's a couple questions in there. See if it can spark some things in you. And if you're live playback, just type in the chat what you're feeling about create. Did you remember something from the past? Did you get inspired here tonight? So let's show that video and we'll be right back.
What creative endeavor did you put down many years ago, but when you did it, it sparked your soul? What creative endeavor have you not done yet, but when you think about it, it gets you excited? Maybe you want to pick up that paintbrush and begin to paint, even though you've never painted before, and maybe you think you wouldn't even be good at it. Maybe you want to begin to write again. Perhaps you did poetry when you were younger and you loved it, but you put it down. Maybe you thought, I want to give drawing a go. Maybe you thought, I don't know what it is, but I know there's something creative I want to get into, whether it's sculpting, painting, whatever. Maybe you want to create your own creative endeavor or pick up a music instrument. Creativity is the juice of life, and it helps us live a more fulfilled life. What would it mean for you and your family and your loved ones for you to get into that creative side of yourself again? Could you perhaps include them? I hope the answer is yes. And I hope the answer is yes to your life reset. Let's get creative again.
What creative endeavor have you seen that really inspired you? And then we're going to close things out. I'll set us up. So I was telling about the young guy who I saw on social media. He's autistic. He's probably a teenager. And what he does, he gets a platform, and he might decorate it like a table or something. He'll put it outside. He might even put it next to like a country road with like a backdrop, and he positions it so you can see the country road, and he puts these like classic cars, they're like miniature cars, and he might have the sunset, like the real sunset in the backdrop, and it shines, and then he positions the camera, he takes pictures of it, and when you see the image, you think they're full-size cars. You can't even tell that he's playing with toy cars on a real backdrop, and it creates this spectacular visual. And of course, you can pull in any element you want. So old tractors, like whatever, and they all look really incredible. And I thought that was a really neat, like artistic expression, that was unique.
Who wants to go next?
We'll make this quick. I can feel the energy. I can feel everybody's ready to. I can just feel. So let's do this.
I'm just going to take you quickly to my kitchen.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys can see this board.
Yeah.
So this board is seriously just something.
Is this the Buddha board?
This is the Buddha board.
I have one.
And it was really funny because we hid it in the corner of our kitchen for a long time. And then all of a sudden we just moved things around. So every morning when my son comes down, or his girlfriend or myself, we always draw pictures on there, or we write a message, and it's on there for a period of time. Sometimes I'll take a picture and send it out to people, but it's just something where we can go and we can draw, and it doesn't matter what it looks like because it's only going to be there for a moment, but we can just put our creative juices out there. So when you just kind of set that up, I was like, oh, I got to show them my board.
Can you bring it to the event? Are you up for that?
Absolutely.
Because I have a little small one. Yours is a big one. I would love to, and then we'll do a whole teaching thing around that. I love that.
Nice. Okay, cool. Perfect.
Love it.
Nice.
So I'll go next. So I have a friend that I have, or acquaintance, someone who I've gotten to know a little bit on a deeper level lately. And he's been really on this like reset of figuring out who he is and what he wants to do in this world. And he's my age. And so he was telling me about how he's allowing his creativity to come out, and he was showing me pictures. And what he did is he created this room, and he put all of these black lights in it. And so he goes in there and he, like, with all of this stuff or whatever, and he just sprays paint all over himself, all over the walls, all over everything. And then he dances and he does these videos, and it's like, and he like tapped into this like Native American thing. So he put on this headdress and he's like just dancing, and like he did these videos and this photography. And I was like, you know what? How awesome would it be to have a room in your house where, whether you're angry, you're happy, whatever mood that you're in, you just go in there and you just start throwing paint around, or putting fingers where, and just expressing yourself in that moment. And I think that that is something that we don't allow ourselves to do as adults. And I think that it would be so awesome to have just this room where you could just throw paint everywhere.
I believe they have created that in Philadelphia. Somebody was telling me a story that they went to a place where they can destroy things and just get all the anger in the system.
Texas too.
Yes.
I want to say Texas, they have all the cars in the sand upside down. Is it the Cadillac Ranch? I forget the name of it.
I
but
know
you
what
can
you're
go-
talking about. We drove by it.
Yeah, you can get out. And I think you can throw anything you want on there. So that's a cool one. All right, so we're going to move a little quicker because I want to get everybody off. You've been all amazing tonight. I can feel the energy of you. I can feel the energy of the people that are in the chat. I want to we'll just do a quick round. So we got the paint in the room with the black lights. We got the Buddha board. Carrie, is there anything that you can think of that's unique and interesting?
I think just for me, I think just, I'm really big into paintings and just art and stuff, anything drawing. So I love, one of my favorite paintings is the Starry Night. I mean, I love that. I love that painting. So I just kind of get lost in that painting whenever I see that. So it's, I just think that that's super cool. So
you just reminded me, if you haven't done the Vincent van Gogh experience with
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Oh my, the thing comes to life. Like you will, if you're even like the most analytical person, you'll go in there and it'll be amazing. So thank you for that. Anilda.
That's what I was going to say. The show that you went, that you broadcasted, that you show us that you were at, that the paintings were all over everywhere. I wanted to go. I say, oh my God, what an amazing experience that would have been. But I was telling them before that I went to an exhibit in which the artists, they went to the dumpsters in Philadelphia, all over Philadelphia, and they collected things out of the trash, and they created all these art pieces. And one of them was all like the smallest pieces were black, and then the big pieces were white. That's what he did. And then he just hanged them up, and it looked like, it was amazing. And when I looked, it was all the stuff that they collected from trash, and they created different things. To me, that's amazing, because I'm an environmental steward, and I look that if we can really consider what we throw away, it will be minimal. Really, we can really recycle everything in this world. We don't have to have that much trash. When you look at it, we can recycle things. Things should deserve a second life. We throw away too much stuff.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been an amazing night. I am going to invite everybody to join us tomorrow night for Life Reset 5-Day Challenge, day number 5. It's going to be a new decision. I have potentially a poem that I think is going to be very relevant, and we will tie everything together for you. We want you to walk away feeling inspired and ready to go. And on Sunday, if you say this is over, so on Sunday at 10 a.m., I will be also back with Power of Pure Presence. We have that opportunity. So we have tomorrow night. So if you're following along, we got tomorrow night. Come back. I just ask you share it with one person. That's it. Just let one person in on this conversation. It could have a dramatic impact on their life. And we've already seen it. So we know that that's possible. Sunday, we're going to have Power of Pure Presence. The topic of that is going to be like something's missing, question mark. So we're going to talk about when we feel like something's missing in life. And then we're also going to have the Flashpoint event if you want to take it a step further. As little as $23, or if you want to really get into it, it's $797 to be a VIP in person with us. So thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to end on a video just because I want to do that. This has been amazing. I'm eager to get back. So we got one more day, but I'm just grateful for you all for being here and eager.
I know Richie said about that. He said, one more day. I wish it wasn't over.
It's never over, right? There's always a new beginning,
yeah.
But it's a new opening, right? It's a new perspective, expansion for all of us. So I'm going to share the Flashpoint video. I'm going to say goodnight to all of you, and we'll be back tomorrow night with day number 5. Have a great night, everyone. God bless.
Thank you for having us, Austin.
Bye-bye.
Love you, girl.
My name is Marilyn Morales. I'm here because I want to help people to heal. I want to heal. I want to be different. I want to be more productive. And I think anybody that comes here is going to find that same thing, their breakthrough.
All right, everyone. Have a great night.